Hey everybody, this is Sean McCloskey from lifeinair.com, and I wanted to share a little story with you today. I just went and I got my hair cut. Hopefully you like it. And I was sitting there talking to the girl that cuts my hair. She's been cutting my hair for years, and I like going to see her. She's real quirky, real fun. She pokes fun at me a lot, which is great. And we always have some interesting conversations. And I found out from her that her husband has been working 7 days a week for the past 4 to 5 months. 7 days a week, and when he does work, he works minimum 12-hour days. And I thought, my gosh, how does he do that for 4 or 5 months working 7 days a week? I can't even imagine. I have to have some quiet and alone time. Not to mention, they have a 2-year-old little daughter at home, and their 2-year-old daughter, she's growing up, she's starting to talk, and here's the kicker, he doesn't even work during the day, he works nights. So their daughter goes to the babysitter all day while she works and cuts hair, and then at night he goes to work. He goes to work somewhere around 4 p.m. and he gets home usually around 6 to 8 a.m. And he gets home and he goes to bed and he gets right back up and does that all over again. He's been doing this for 4 to 5 months. Now, it'd be different if this was a one-time occurrence, but this has happened on and off for years with them. And it really got me thinking. And I thought, would he be working this hard if they didn't have this substantial mortgage to pay? And I don't think the answer is yes to that. Matter of fact, she made a comment to me that really kind of hit me hard. She said, well, you just do what you got to do. And I thought, what do you mean you do what you got to do? Nobody got to do that. You don't have to do that where you work 7 days a week. And she said, well, it's not so bad. He's actually not working 7 days a week right now. He's working only 6 days a week. And I was like, wow, 6 days a week. I said, does he love what he does? And she goes, well, he likes it, but who loves what they do when they got to do it 6 or 7 days a week, 12 to 14, sometimes 16 and 18 hours a day? And I thought, that's kind of an extreme example, but to some degree, I think most of the American population does this. And most of the American population says, well, you just do what you got to do. Well, I think that's a result of not planning the life that you really want. The only reason that you should say, I do what I have to do, is if you feel like there's no other alternatives. I happen to know a number of people that don't work anywhere near that. Matter of fact, I know people that work 10, 15, 20 hours a week, get a lot of significance and satisfaction from their job, and make a lot of money, but also have the free time to do the other things that they want to do, like be a father, like maybe be around for your daughter every once in a while. And my heart went out to them, and we talked about it a little bit more. We didn't get too detailed because we're here in the salon getting my hair cut, but the fact of the matter is I'm gonna work with her a little bit more to find out, what's going on. I know that they just built a brand new house a couple years ago, and I know their mortgage payment is pretty extensive. I also know that they have some bills, and it really hit me that debt has the ability to do this to someone. I would bet that before he bought the house and before they got into debt, if someone told him, hey, you can have this house, all you have to do is work 7 days a week to pay the mortgage, and you're going to do that for now for the rest of your life. And by the way, the only time you're going to enjoy that house is when you come home so you can sleep for a few hours and go right back to work and do it again the next day. I would bet that he would probably feel differently about whether or not he was going to go sign on behalf of that mortgage. But, of course, now it's done and it's too late. But I just wanted to really reach out to you guys and ask you, what do you have in your life right now that is making you do things that you wouldn't normally do? Do you have some debt right now? And I talked to a student recently that said, you don't understand, Sean, debt doesn't affect any of my decisions. She said, we owe next to nothing on our house. We have very little owed on our house. She said, we have 8 or 9 rental properties, and she said, we do just fine. She said, my husband works, and she said, granted, my husband really wants to quit his job. We're not quite there yet, but she said, we have very little debt, and the debt on our rentals doesn't bother us. She said, I don't think this debt thing is relevant for us. And I said, listen, debt affects everybody. It affects some decision that you have in your life, whether that be you've wanted to move somewhere at one point, you can't move because you're locked down to the debt that you have, or where you're going to go on vacation, or where you decide to work. I said, let me ask you a question. Your husband right now works at his job still, and does he like it? And she said, no, he wants out of there so bad. He loves doing real estate investing, and he wants to get out of it. And I said, well, then why aren't you out of it right now? And she said, well, we don't really want to leave because we still want to make sure if anything happened and he couldn't close a real estate deal, in a month or 2 or 3 months, that we still had money to pay for the rentals just in case some of our tenants moved out and maybe stiff us with the bill. I said, okay, point taken, but here's the proof now that debt does affect you. I said, you're telling me that debt doesn't affect you at all, yet you're saying, my husband really wants to quit his job, but he can't quit his job because we need that steady income just in case one of our tenants moves out and ends up, taking us for a bath on some of the rent. We still have to pay that mortgage if they don't pay us. So it is affecting you, I said. Do you see this now? I mean, there is no question debt is affecting you. It's affecting whether or not your husband can quit his job and spend the time he wants to spend running his own business and working with his wife. The wife is the one who works in the real estate business right now. And I said, so there's no doubt it is affecting your decision. It might only be one decision, and you might not think much about it, but the fact is your husband is going to work every day so that he can have enough money steadily coming in from work, and it's affecting whether or not he can go out with a little uncertainty and try something new. Now, imagine if you had no debt, and imagine if you had very, very little overhead, very little expenses. Here, for example, one of our coaching students right now just said he's got a family of 3 that he can feed his entire family and pay all of his bills because he's completely debt-free on $1,500 a month. And he said, you know what, Sean? He goes, if things got really bad for me and my real estate business totally crashed, he said, and that, by the way, that's food, that's for them to go to private school, that's our utilities, that's our everything. Everything is $1,500 a month. And he said, worst case scenario, I could go to McDonald's and make $1,500 a month. So he's out there, he's trying new business strategies, and he's doing very well because he can afford to do very well. He can afford to go take those chances that other people can't. So the girl that cuts my hair, they can't afford to go take a chance right now. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and the gentleman is working 7 days a week, not because he chose to, not because he absolutely loves working 7 days a week and not spending any time off or having any quiet time or having no time with his 2-year-old daughter. He's working 7 days a week right now because he has to. So I wanted to share this message with you because I think debt impacts us. Whether or not we want to believe it, it impacts us to some level. It affects a decision that we have to make, something that we'd like to try, an adventure that we'd like to go on, or something. So how's it affecting you today? And if it's affecting you, my next question is, what are you going to do about it? Okay? Think that over right now. I'm going to have some more videos coming up here soon that'll help you come up with what to do about it, and we'll talk soon. That's it for now. Enjoy it, be a life in air, and I'll talk to you soon.